Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Urvashi. I work as a professional trainer and I provide trainings in front-end development technologies. Apart from that, I help candidates with interview preparation as well. Welcome to the 11th video of JavaScript of Let's Crack It with Urvashi series. In today's video, we are going to talk about this keyword and debugging in JavaScript. These two are very important concepts. This keyword, I have seen people, confused about what is this keyword. This is a reserved keyword we have, which has a lot of meaning. It always refers to object, but it depends where it is, like inside a function, outside a function. So we will see all of that today in this keyword. If you master this, what is this keyword, it will help you a lot in future, especially when you go to React and Angular. It will help you a lot. And apart from that, we will see debugging. As a developer, I feel debugging is a skill, is an art, because if you understand how to debug your JavaScript code, it will make you very independent as a developer. You really don't need anyone to find the bugs in your code. In fact, it will help you to understand the flow of your JavaScript code as well. Especially if you are a fresher or a newbie in IT. Initially, generally, you're not deployed to a complete project from scratch. Generally, you are given production issues or make some changes in the code. So you can actually understand the complete flow. Like if you click on add to cart, what function is called, how the product is added to the cart page. You can actually understand the flow of your code through this debugging process. So we will see all of it, and if I hope after this video you will be able to master the skill of debugging, which I call literally a, I mean, for me, anyone who understand which I literally call a skill, debugging skill. It's for me, it's more like art. I hope after watching this video, you will be able to master the skill of debugging your JS code. And before we go to the video, don't forget to check out my interview preparation material. I have added the description below, so do check that out. Now let's get to the. Hello everyone. In today's video, we are going to start with this keyword. So this keyword is very important topic in JavaScript. This is not just important for JavaScript, it is important in ES6, React.js, all your Vue.js, every language, every library framework that is based on JavaScript uses this keyword a lot. So this keyword refers to the owner it belongs to. That means it always refers to some owner. That owner is definitely going to be some object it refers to. Now, it has different meaning depending upon where it is used. That means if you're using it in an object, if you are directly writing it in a document, if you're writing it in a function, in a strict mode or a event, so it has a different result. So it will have a different meaning where depending upon where it is used. But one thing is going to be common, that it is going to refer to some object, and which is that object is nothing but some owner object always. So let's get to Visual Studio. We will see all these cases one by one, that what this keyword is going to produce. You will give you the value when we are going to use this keyword in the following places. So here I have HTML file and I have attached external JS file. So this keyword, let's say, is directly placed in the document, that is the alone case. In this case, it is going to refer to the owner object, owner global object, okay, which is nothing but our window. Window is the global object, which we have already seen in the BOM. So this is what it is going to refer to over here. Now, let's say I have a object person. Now this time, let's say first name Alex. We will add age, let's say 20, and we will add a function, let's say full name. Now this function, let's say, want to display the value of first name. Now to access this first name inside within this object, that is a person, we need this keyword. I can't directly write first name. This is a wrong approach of writing. This is not how you can directly write first name inside a. So this is my object method. So inside object method, you can't directly write these properties first name. You need this keyword. So here, this keyword will refer to the owner object where function is residing. So this will refer to the person. So here, this is referring to person object, because whenever you have this keyword inside a function, whenever I say this keyword inside function means in block of code. This block of code, that is a block of code of a function which has this keyword. This will refer to the owner where function is residing. function is residing inside this person object, that means this will refer to this person. Dot first name is basically the property I'm using from this object. Here I can't even directly write person because person is recognizable or accessible outside but not the inside. So here we need this keyword. So I can only write this keyword over. Now let's say I'm writing a function outside, let's say fun. And here I'm calling this function, let's say I want to console this keyword and I want to say fun outside. So this time this function is not inside any object, it is directly inside the document. Again, let's say line of execution will come to 16, then 13 and then 14. One thing is going to be same, that this will refer to the owner where function is residing. So this will refer to the owner object. So if I just refresh, I can see it is referring to the window because window is the owner global object, because window is the owner global object for this fun function, because fun is nothing but a function which is directly inside this document. So owner of this document is global object, which is window. So that's where this is referring to window here. So this is referring to window object. Now let's say I want to use, let me just comment all these. I want to use strict mode. Okay, so let's say if I'm using a strict mode case, so I'll just include strict over here. Now if I create a function inside here, let's say add, and I will say, let's say console.log of this, and I will say add. Now in this case, if I refresh, I will get an undefined value. That means this keyword will give you undefined in case of use strict. In strict mode, this keyword actually doesn't work. So it gives you undefined value in case of strict mode. The last is events. Now let's say, let me just create a button quickly over here. Now here I want to refer to this button. Okay. So now if I'm having a on click event over here, let's say is equal to, so if I'm writing this keyword here, this will refer to the button, the element itself. So let's say I'm just doing this dot style dot display is equal to none. So I'm making this value none when someone will click on this button, because this is going to refer to this button over here. This keyword will refer to this button. That means if I refresh, if I click on submit, this button is vanishing. That means the button is gone because display has been set to none whenever a user click on this submit button. Because when you click on this button, you want to make some display none, which is nothing but this button itself, because this is referring to this button. Object refer to the owner of the object. Alone refers to the, alone means if I'm writing this keyword alone, it will refer to the global object, which is nothing but window. Function will refer to the owner object where function is residing, or the object that owns the function. Strict mode, it will give you undefined value, and in event, it will refer to the HTML element that received the event. So this is how we can use this keyword in JavaScript. Next important topic we have here is how to debug JavaScript code. So firstly, the question comes, why we need to debug a JavaScript code. The reason is, let's say no one is perfect, right? If I'm writing my code, there might be a problem that might arise. Maybe I skipped some spelling mistake. Maybe I've written some function name incorrectly. So human error can also be there. So debugging is the process of finding, testing and debugging and reducing the bugs and error in your code, in your existing code. So we need to debug our code to find the potential errors that are being occurred in our code for so many reasons, and simply we are going to reduce them with the process of debugging. Now there are three ways to add debugger to your code. Firstly, console.log, which we have seen multiple times now. We can simply use console.log, especially when you're getting data from a database backend and then you want to check what's coming in the data in the UI part. So that time we can use console.log, and otherwise as well, we have used it a lot. We can use debugger. We can use this debugger as a breakpoint, or we can directly add breakpoints. So instead of debugger, actually we prefer to go for breakpoints. So I'll show you all of them one by one. So here I have this HTML file and I've attached external JS file. So let me just create a basic form. Let's say input by the user. Let's say type is equal to text. Then I can have, let's say, ID is equal to value. Let's say val. And then I can have a button here. Let's say submit. Then I can have type. Let's say button. And then I can simply write on click is equal to display. Then let's just capture whatever the value is going to come. Let's display that value over here. Let's say ID is equal to display. Now this is my method name, that is a display. So I'll just copy this method and we are going to create this method over here. So let's say I want to create a method which will take the user input. Let's say document.getElement by ID. I'll capture the data. Let's say val.value. And then after that, once I get the value, I'm simply going to say document.getElement by ID. I will just get the display. That means where you want to display the data. I want to display the data here in this p tag. So whatever data we will receive, we are going to say dot inner HTML is equal to x plus 10. That means whenever user click on that number, that means whenever user enter any data and user click on submit, it will add 10 to that value. This is my user case. So I've created the logic. Now let's execute this. So I will just going to say 10 and I will click on submit. So here I can see 10, 10. Now if you see, this is actually an incorrect value. I was expecting the 10, the digit I'm entering, plus the 10 I'm going to add. So total I was expecting a 20 value. So this is what we can see, that problem has arisen in our code. Okay. The very first thing that would come to our mind is, let's just console the value and see before displaying it on UI. Let's see what value has come. Okay. This is one way we can do x plus 10. Okay. This is one way we can do. But let's say, let me just try some other way of debugging. Let me just add a debugger. So we use this debugger keyword and semicolon. So wherever you want to add a breakpoint, you can add this debugger word. So I'll just go to inspect. I will go to console sources. And here I will just say, let's say 20. And I will click on submit button over here. So here you will see a debugger will start. So here this is the place where wherever you have added debugger, it will come to that line of execution. And this, if you see, this method is called only when you click on this submit button. That is the reason this debugger started working after I clicked on this button. So if I click on this, it will go to next line. If I click on this, it will stop executing. Now here I got 20, 10. That means 20 what I entered and 10 coming from the this 10. Okay. This is another way of debugging. But we generally don't prefer this way. Okay, let me just show you how I got that this value is incorrect, because if you see here, you got x equal to 20. That means a 20 is nothing but a string. That means the x value is string. And if you add string with 10, it will give you a string value. But I expected a number. That means I need to convert this x. So this is the way I used debugger and I got my result as well. I got that this x is actually coming as 20 with the data type of string. So this is absolutely fine, that by using this process of debugging, I got the result that the problem is with the x data type. But the problem is, if I start adding debugger, let's say in real time we have so many line of code and so many files. If I start adding debugger on, let's say in a file I need 10 places, so I have to include and then I have to come back and remove that as well. Again, it will become a hectic process. So to avoid that, we have adding breakpoint process. In that, firstly, we open the elements, console and sources. So firstly, we go to inspect, then we go to the sources. Here, just do control plus P. Here, click on this gray area and just do control plus P. So automatically, whatever the files which are associated with this page will be displayed here. Now, instead of writing that keyword debugger, I'm going to add the breakpoints by clicking on these lines. So this is the way I can click on these lines. Now, this debugger again will start executing like whenever this function will be executed. And this function will be executed when I click on this submit. So I will add 20. I will click on submit. Here you can see my debugger has started working. In fact, if I hover over this, you will see how much information this document contains. Now this complete value. Now if I click on this black arrow, it will go to next line. And if I click on this continue, it will go to the next breakpoint. So right now there were two lines only. So it will go to the same line in this case. So if I go this, now if I continue this, I will get this 20. Now I got that the problem was actually with this value, which is turning out to be a string value. So I will simply come to my code. I will just type convert it because we know the concept of type conversion now. Now if I refresh, so now if I add 20 over here or 29, if I click on submit, now debugger will start executing again. I will click on this blue continue button. Now I will get 29 in string, but here I'm converting it. So resulted is going to be a complete value, which is 39. So this is how we can debug our code. So to adding these breakpoints, opening these files, adding breakpoints is not a big deal. But the place where we have to add the debugger is a challenging and the brainstorming part. This debugging process don't only help you with the finding bugs, but actually also help you to know the flow of the code, how JavaScript flow is working. For example, let me just add debugger on one place. Now if I click on submit, if I click on this black arrow, whatever will be the next line of execution of code it will go to that line automatically. So here we can see. That means after JS, it comes back to this HTML file. So you will understand the flow as well. So this is how this process of debugging really help you. Just remember, go to sources, Control plus P, open the files and just start debugging your code. So this is how I can debug my code over here. So this is how we can use this keyword and debug our JavaScript code. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share my channel. Do share it with your friends, family, aspiring developers and any working professional who want to hone their skills in front-end development. And do check out my interview preparation material. You can come to my YouTube channel, see the videos for free and you can definitely prepare for interviews at a minimal cost using my interview preparation material. I've added the description below, so do check that out and thank you so much for watching my videos.